So welcome back, everyone. Oh my goodness gracious. I cannot wait to bring on my next guest. She was on many years ago. Accidentally happened that I call, and here she is, boom again. I have with me Jennifer Sultzaberger. I hope I said it right.
You got it.
Welcome back to the show. You have something that everyone out there needs to listen to. This is called Last Wishes 101. I want you to tell about this book that you sent to me. Thank you for sending it to me. But I want you to talk a little bit about yourself, what you do, and then why this book should be almost in everybody's hands.
Well, today it just so happens that I'm a notary.
I'm going to bring you up right
when you look at our articles and our guide to financial planning and estate planning and life planning, it's nice to know a notary. That's number one. So I think I'm going to be on next week for that. And then number two is the reason we went about having this book is to make sure that everybody had all of the forms needed in Arizona to do estate planning, because most people just don't have a plan in mind. And what's really disturbing to me is that there's more women that don't have a plan than men.
That's sad. It's scary is what it is. But here's the thing. The people put their heads in the sand when it comes to talking about this subject here in America.
Absolutely.
Because in Europe, they're different about talking about death. I guess they think that when they're going to do it, that means they're dying. It doesn't really mean that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the lines to the audience throughout the rest of the show for everyone to call in to get entered into it. She's giving 2 away, and it's called Last Wishes 101, Discover Peace of Mind, which you're going to have when this is all done. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone that you know. Everyone, and I think the age of 18 on up has to have this.
You're not wrong.
Right. So let's talk about, first of all, when you work with people, you're mobile. So you go to them, right?
That's
you talk
correct.
to them. That's with the notary and all that. Let's talk about this book. I got to go to your questions today that we asked in order. Okay. So, how did you get the idea for Last Wishes 101?
So Julian J. Blum was my partner for about 10 years, and he found me regarding search engine optimization because I've been a specialist in that since 2001. And we partnered up in 2018. I was helping him with his marketing, and then I became a co-author of this book. When he released his first book, it was pretty good. He sold maybe 800 copies. It was kind of cartoonish and not putting anything down, but it just wasn't targeted for all audiences. He had the idea because he put a scrapbook together for his wife, making sure that she was taken care of if anything should happen to him. And then his wife showed the neighbors, and then the neighbors were like, we want one. So then he wrote the book. And then when we met, I'll say we fine-tuned it together. We agree on a lot of things, but sometimes we don't. So we kind of compromised, and we came up with a beautiful new cover. We put in all of the forms that you need for being a resident in Arizona. Thank you. And making sure that you can find all of these forms in one spot. And that's the most important thing, and I know that's out of order, about the book, because if you just went online to Law Depot or maybe another site, and not plugging for any of those sites, just saying to buy one form, sometimes it can be upwards of $200. In this book, you get all of the forms for $129.99, and you can also get the PDF version if you don't want to have the actual printed book or guide, as we call it.
Well, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. She's got 2 of them that she's giving away. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. And you can check her out on the website. It's lastwishes101.com. When people go up there and they're confused, let's say, right, of how you talk to them, you do consultations with people too?
Certainly.
Right. You have to. Because when it comes to this, people think, they don't even realize that they need all of the forms. They think they don't.
Well, most people are just very nervous. They think they don't maybe have enough assets, or, they're not sure what to do, so they just do nothing. But the number one call I get as a notary is for a power of attorney, and when somebody is immobile or in an accident or incapacitated, you can't do a power of attorney. it's too late. So without any planning, or even if you don't feel like you have enough assets, it's something you should definitely look into.
So you created the book so everyone could have all of the paperwork that you need to make sure that you have peace of mind. That's number one, right? Peace of mind. And I'm gonna get you water right now.
Thank you.
Okay, so how many Americans have an estate plan or will? How do you know that answer?
It's on the internet. You can just chat GPT it. It used to be
They
really
know
hard.
what I've done.
They know what everyone's done. You used to have to do a lot and pay a lot of money for statistics, but now you can pretty much find them anywhere. And these were, as of last night, I got these. I wanted to be very current because only 64 to 68% of Americans actually have a plan in place. That's it.
That's it.
And that's
folks.
usually anybody making over $88,000 a year. Anyone in the normal range of monetary value, they don't think about it.
So let me tell you how important these papers are. When you go, and I've said this before, I'm sure, you call Amazon and you gotta know who you are. I mean, they're gonna send you and check you who you are before they'll talk to you,
Right.
okay? What do you think is gonna happen if, God forbid, you're in the hospital, you're incapacitated, they gotta know who you are, who's gonna come in and do all that and talk for you. Because the final wishes are not just about your assets in any way. What are your final wishes? What do you want to do with yourself to happen to you, correct?
That is correct.
Go ahead, talk a little, can you?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
So for instance, I have a DNR. It stands for Do Not Resuscitate. I've had it since I was 32 years old, and my husband doesn't necessarily agree with it because he thinks I was way too young to have a Do Not Resuscitate. But typically, if something happens to you, if you're in a car crash and you're unconscious and you can't speak for yourself, without having a DNR, maybe one in your glove box that travels with you every day when you're in your car, as we know that's the number one way people typically lose their consciousness, is what I'll say, not necessarily their life. You know, ambulatory or emergency people will work on you for 45 minutes, and then the repercussions of them, you know, pressing on your body and doing things that you may not ordinarily want to happen to you, happening to you because you're unconscious, is far greater of a deal than having something in place where you may say, listen, if I go unconscious and I'm not breathing, these are the things I want you to do for me, and these are the things I do not want you to
Right,
do
it's
for
what
me.
do you want? I mean, I may want you to work for 45 minutes to try, but then that's enough.
And I
You
don't.
I don't know.
So it's really your personal.
It's personal.
Yeah, it's very personal. So a lot of times when I'm doing notaries for this kind of paperwork, I let people know, you know, these are very important decisions. You should definitely review the paperwork, maybe have the questions answered prior to my arrival, and then you're just initialing and signing when the notary arrives, because it's none of my business what somebody wants.
But I have a question to ask you. A lot
Sure.
of people might that have one.
Mhm.
Like I said, mine.
You have your state
I
in
check,
order.
but I went and looked at it, and it was because I was having surgery, and I went in there, and I was like, oh my goodness, how many things needed to be changed, you know? And you might have one, you might want to dust it off and check it off, you know, because it may not be right. You might need to change it, and you might need a notary to come in there and make sure that it is done right.
Right, and you shouldn't scrap your whole plan. You can make addendums to different documents. If you have a trust, you can make addendums. If you have a will, you can make some changes to your will. You typically have to start that over. You can use what you have and then add or delete things that you don't want. My mother has a trust, and she's recently updated it several times, and sometimes it can be costly. So you really just have to be mindful to look at that maybe every 5-10 years, however long you've had your estate in place, and then make sure that you do what's needed to change it if that's necessary.
Last Wishes 101. Go onto that website. Tell them what's in this so they hear it again.
So again, there's 24 forms. If you went on a website to buy one or two of them, they would be anywhere of upwards of $100 to $200. I'm sitting here in this booth with you, and there was a young lady who had mentioned she has a lot more of an estate, but she said she spent over $10,000 putting this together. This is a wonderful guide that can guide you the whole way through. Anything from your healthcare directives, your power of attorney, your mental health directives, a will, a trust are both in there. Everything that you would ever need. And if you really want to get down to it, there's even something about your Facebook page as well as your pets, who will care for them, where will they go. And it's really just about getting your life in order, because people don't think about what's going to happen tomorrow. They're living for today, right? And it's unfortunate.
Go to the website or call in here, because everyone's getting entered into it. I'm so lucky I have one right here with me. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. Check it out. It's lastwishes101.com.